This little video series is called Dying Dar's Way, Radically Real Spiels on the End of Life. I'm here today with my friend Katherine McGavern. We share many things in common, particularly around traditional things like knitting and home crafts. And it's something that's coming up very hard for me now as I contemplate the end of life, that there's so many things that we grew up doing, that we got from our mothers and grandmothers, that it's very difficult to pass on to the next generation. Katherine, what did you learn from your mother or your grandmother that you really value and would like to pass on?
Oh my. Well, this is a good place to start. My mother was a fabulous Irish knitter.
Ooh.
And knit beautiful mittens for us. We had the best mittens of all our friends because she knit them on size 1 needles.
Oh, that's
Yep.
teeny.
Teeny,
That's
tight,
teeny.
and they were totally waterproof, and you could go through a whole afternoon without needing new mittens. All our friends wore them all out. So I did hope maybe that knitting would come down, but then I had 3 sons. But curiously, my oldest, when he was 15, said, I want to learn how to do that. And so I said, well, I'll tell you what, Ned, here's how it works. The hardest thing about knitting is finishing. So we'll pick, he said, I want to knit a sweater. So I said, all right. So we went shopping for a pattern, had cables in it.
Whoa!
And we had to go all the way to Flemington for the yarn that he wanted. And then I said, now, the hardest thing about a project is finishing it. So you can't get your driver's license. You can't get your driver's permit until this is finished.
And she's manipulative like I'm manipulative.
Well, I gave him a whole year.
Right.
And then 2 weeks before his 16th birthday, I said to him casually, don't you have some knitting to do? And he forgot about it. He'd knit the front and the back and part of a sleeve. And so he realized he knew I meant it. So he was up watching David Letterman and knitting for night after night after night.
This is priceless. This is
So
priceless.
he was trying to finish that sweater, and because I said, I meant it. No, we can't go to the DMV until that sweater's done. And so the last night, when he came down in the morning of his birthday, and he said, I've got it all knit, and I've got it mostly put together, but I've got just one more seam in my sleeve here. Can I do that on the way down to the DMV? And I went, oh, all right. So, of course, I did it while he was at school. So I picked him up, we went to the DMV, and he took his test. He put on his sweater, and he took his test, and I have a picture of him in front of the DMV sign with his sweater that he knit himself.
That's
so
adorable.
I really, I was pleased about that. He doesn't knit anymore, though. And my mother and my grandmother were both wonderful cooks, and I love to cook, and so that was another thing I got the boys interested in. And I said before they left high school, I said, you have to be able to make a whole dinner. Pick a dinner that you want, and I'll show you how to do it. And then wherever you are, you can always say to somebody, come to my house, I'll make you dinner. And when I did it with Ned, and then Tim came along, and I was talking to him in the kitchen one day about, what do you want to make for dinner, Tim? And he said, oh, no, do I have to do this? And Ned was walking through, and he called over his shoulder, listen to Mom, T. Learn how to cook. Chicks love it.
Ah!
So actually, all 3 of my boys are really good cooks. They're coming along, which makes me very happy.
Yeah, I made all 3 of my kids be at least competent in the kitchen. I also made them learn how to scrub a toilet.
Oh, good
and
for
not
you.
just scrub the toilet, but do it regularly, so that it wouldn't just be about the information, but the actual habit of scrubbing the toilet. So
I guess the other thing was music. Music was really important. My dad had a wonderful tenor voice, and he taught me how to harmonize. So when we were little, he had a ukulele, and he taught me how to sing. So we'd sing these songs. And I like to play the piano, but not take lessons or practice. And but I decided it was important for the kids to have that language because it's like a foreign language. So I started all 3 of them when they were 3 years old. Ned started on the violin, and Tim on the cello, and Jamie on the viola. And they said, how long do we have to do this? And I said, until you leave home. Why are you making us do this? We hate this. And I would say, well, one thing is, I want you to see that if you want to get good at anything, just do a little bit every day.
Right.
So they did. And Ned Ned plays in the Kensington Philharmonic in London. I mean,
don't ever give up.
And he loves his violin. He told me in 9th grade he was in the pit orchestra at school. He said, Mom, I love my violin. Thank you. But of course we'd had all kinds of battles over it and so on. But it stuck. And so the little one didn't stay with the viola because he ended up being an artist. but they all have music they can all play.
Right. They were
And
still,
read music.
They learned some discipline through it.
Yes.
So I have the knitting thing in my family. Here I've got my little sweater that I
Look with the birds.
with birds and little dancing people. I can't follow directions, just like I can't follow recipes. So I just sort of make it up. I steal little ideas from pattern books. But I've been knitting basically my whole life. And do you know my daughter learned how to make socks from a YouTube video? Like, where were you for the past 20 years? You couldn't learn at home, but this is just, it's just different. It comes up for me really hard now, though, because while I am contemplating the end of life, it is imminent for me. I feel even more driven by my values and priorities and what's the unfinished business, what remains that's important to me. Is there anything that I know that I could teach? I used to give my children coupons on birthdays and Christmas. Christmas for me and my birthday. This is what I want. I want the opportunity to teach you something that I know. And so it might have just been, I'll teach you to make a pot of soup or I don't know, a pine cone suet bird feed or whatever it was. I just wanted to teach what I know, and that's coming up really hard and heavy now. And now I'm teaching people how to do end-of-life planning.
I love you.
So, anyway, it's never too late, but you got to start now. Don't give up. These things are really important. Thank you, Katherine.
Don't give up, right.